So that was the first meeting.
But she
Okay.
only went into the office.
All finished up, Key?
She did.
Okay. So I know I probably cut you guys short during the meeting, but for the observers in each group, I just want to go around and I want to see, what did you see in that meeting? What did you observe? So the first group, and Keely, what did you observe?
I observed between Tyler and Denise concerns, and basically the manager was with his employee, and they were meeting, doing a weekly meeting, an update on what was going on in, throughout her workload. And she was giving him an update on the cases, the open cases. He was encouraging, and she was trusting of her manager. And do I have to go in order as I saw it, or just I
No.
can kind of, okay.
No.
All right. He also talked to her about goals that, he had, I guess they had already discussed, and case studies. He explained what he needed, why he needed it, and he also explained the benefit of the information he was asking for between the employee and the company, how the both could benefit from it. She was transparent also in incorporating and sharing some of the information that when she was faced with an issue or a concern, she was transparent enough to share it with her manager. And that was in terms of problems with closing the cases. And you kept saying last, so I was like, okay, last.
One more thing, and Keely, one more thing.
Okay, the last thing was growth potential. Training, he introduced that she had that resources there for her. So he was very supportive and encouraging of how he could help her in the process if she decided to do that. And he provided constructive criticism, with how to handle it, a case in the future. Sorry.
Okay, thanks. Number 2. Observer. What did you see? Give me 3 things.
This was a weekly sales meeting, and so they went through the open opportunities and tasks, and basically assessed the details of those tasks of the opportunities. Went through what they needed to close the sale, what was left to close the sale, and looked at some of the details on some of the quotes that they had open. Questions about like who the purchaser and other involved parties came up.
Group number 3.
Hello. I did accounting with Yassine and Sarah. And first of all, Yassine congratulated her on a goal because the purchase clearing was up.
Great.
It was down. No, it was down, which
Oh,
is
it was
good. I think that's good.
Oh, that's okay.
No. And then, yeah, but the goal that wasn't met was receiving, they were supposed to meet 300K. That wasn't met, so they went over the reasons why. And then she wanted to know who are the top 10 vendors, like, who pays us on, or who are we paying on time, who do we communicate well with, and just making sure, she's in contact with the other departments, like order management, making sure everybody gets paid and we get paid.
Okay, thank you. Can you pass it to group 4, the observer?
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so I was the observer for the warehouse, Felipe and Gui, their interactions here. So anyhow, they were amazingly efficient in their meeting, so which I admired greatly because I love efficiency. So the interactions were basically they were covering immediately whether or not there was anything new that came up right off the bat that needed to be discussed, and then moved right into probably the usual discussions as far as as projects that needed to be discussed, whether everything was being met effectively, whether he needed any help with anything. He interacted right back with, he was on track. They discussed the new system, how that was coming along, whether he needed any more help with resources. The communication, again, back and forth was very efficient, very open, what the expectations were. Went right into discussions about vendors, whether they were on track this week, and as far as what the expectations were, what the goals were for next week, and right into also the safety, and was everybody on par with training. But again, the most important part of it seemed to be the efficiency. I mean, they just knew exactly what the expectations of the meeting were, went right down the list, and communicated very efficiently back and forth. And it was just smooth, concise, to the point, and very clear.
Perfect. Thank you. Next.
Hello. I was with group number 5, and we did weekly inventory and purchasing meeting, and they talked about things that were out of stock and why they were out of stock, whether it was something that we just needed to order, or if it was a production issue, and then what some solutions were to solve those out of stock issues. We also talked about using Salesforce in order to run reports when things are out of stock, to let the employees and the salespeople know, hey, this is on back order for 4 months, so that you can work with your client. So it was a good use of Salesforce. And then they also talked about just updates in the warehouse, and that when we get new stock coming in, letting the warehouse know so that they can be aware and have space to unload all the new stuff that's coming in.
I think they also mentioned that the vendor was back ordered.
Yeah.
Like we ordered it timely for our time frame, but the vendor kind of let it down. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why things are back ordered, so that people know.
Great. Okay, last group.
We were group number 6, Vanessa and Brad. This was a sales meeting. Basically, it was just, the common theme was efficiency, just like that other group. Basically, she was asking him what was in the pipeline. He said he had a pretty big job coming up, $75,000 order. Asked what we're selling, and he said penny rounds, and she said, did you check stock on it? He said, I didn't know we had stock, so that was good. So, efficient, helped the order move a little faster. And then went into, what else is going on, and, we're revitalizing a relationship with a vendor that we haven't been dealing with a lot lately. So, adding more business.
So highlighting something that's possibly like a product training knowledge, in there. So, I heard a lot of, great things so far. One thing, the accomplishments is a big thing to add in there, what's been accomplished. And then also, if there's training or continuous learning things, how to, escalate that higher in case it's needed for your department or that person. Okay, so now we're gonna go in our second meeting. 7 to 10 minutes again, 3 different folks. Play a role. If it's not your role, act it out, and then the 1 observer. So 2 meetingers, people in meetings, and then 1 observer.
Felipe, you're going to have to give them your questions. Made up your questions? Okay. Well, then maybe...
Different observer this time.
Okay.
The topic does not have to be the same. If you're comfortable doing a sales meeting or a customer service meeting, do one of those. Okay? 7 to 10 minutes.